is looking at you, kid. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
I'll have what she's having.
Boss will be with you, always.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
No one sees this until I edit it. So all this right now, it's gone. You don't even know it. No one will know this even exists right here. Just think about this. This is lost time that no one is going to hear but us. Just consider that, guys. I'm sorry. I'm being really meta today. We are at the home stretch. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep all that in because I like chaos. I'm an agent of chaos. This is Gone with a Win. Cue the music. Hey everybody, welcome to Gone with the Win, and yes, that is our special guest, musical guest today. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. What do you have to say to the kids?
My name says it all.
Exactly.
And I just get a notification, so give me a sec.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Abraham Flores. I'm here again.
Yes.
You need to introduce me again.
Yes, Abe is here. Give him a second. Hi, everybody. This is Manning, your host of Gone with the Win, the show about award shows where we talk about, you guessed it, award shows. As you can tell, I'm kind of, at this point, I'm just going to keep it all in. I'm going to edit, of course, some things here and there, but that was, you know what? I have the power. I'm going to keep that in. But I'm not alone today. I have a special guest with me to talk about some of the lower tier awards that we have today, under the radar, or excuse me, below the line, as they are called. With me to discuss some of these guild awards out here, we have Dan.
Yeah, you know, I mean, finally some of these awards are coming out, so we're gonna finally get to give our 2 cents on some of this stuff, like animation and cinematography and some of these things. So, well, it's pretty. I mean, I'm not expecting any surprises in some of these. So
we'll find out the surprises in a little bit. Malcolm, welcome.
Hello. It's 8 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Thank you again for joining us today, 8 in the morning on a Sunday. Don't worry, Malcolm. You will not have too many more like this for a time period. Just a couple of one. And we also have Abe, as he had mentioned beforehand. He's back again.
I thought that I have introduced myself.
Tell a friend.
Oh, yes. Yes, he is back. But no, as I was telling Malcolm right then, he only do a couple more times because at episode 70, that is not this episode, not the episode before that, which again, we're going to have this Saturday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern. Might finagle around a few minutes depending on how we get ourselves together. We will be live discussing our Oscar picks here on the Take 3 channel. So I hope you guys are ready and to rock and to roll, because we're finally going to go through all of them, discussing and seeing who we want to win and who we think is going to win, because those are two very, very different things.
See who goes out on some limbs, right, Manning?
Exactly. I have a couple of limbs that I'm going to go out on, but I won't reveal those until later this Saturday. But yes, we have a couple more episodes until episode 70, which will be 3, but not counting this one, 3 more episodes before we take a little brief hiatus and get our bearings. This happens usually after every Oscar season, because there's usually a dry spot when it comes to certain things. But you will see us come later toward the fall. I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. But again, welcome to this episode of Gone with the Win. We are here to discuss some of the below-the-line categories, as I mentioned beforehand, such as cinematography, sound mixing, sound editing, now just sound, and animation. Oh, and editing, of course. How could I forget editing? So we're going to go through some of these awards that have just happened, and we're going to start off with one. The 48th Annie Awards transpired on April 16th. Is today the 17th or the 18th? 18th, right? Okay, so
18th for Malcolm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Malcolm. What day is it over there?
It's the 19th.
Okay,
Monday.
there we go.
It's a Monday for Malcolm.
For us. I know, it's a Monday for you. That's so weird to think about.
Malcolm's always in the future. I mean, I hate Malcolm because he gets to see the future where we don't.
How's the future?
It's sunny.
Hey, the future's bright. We got to wear shades. But yeah, today on Friday, the Annie Awards transpired, and we actually had a lot of love spread to merely 2 different films. Not counting TV, but for films, we're not going to go through the TV section. We're going to go through mainly the actual film awards, because this is obviously a film thing, not TV. But for our winners for the film side of everything, well, this is just kind of like they have everything here, don't they? For best editorial feature, we have Soul. For best writing, Soul. For best voice acting feature, Wolfwalkers for Eva Whittaker. We have best storyboarding, Soul. Best production design, Wolfwalkers. Best music, Soul. Best direction, Wolfwalkers. Best character design, Wolfwalkers. Best character animation feature, Soul. Best effects for feature, Soul. Lots of... You're noticing a pattern, I'm guessing, between these two. A best indie feature, Wolfwalkers, and finally, best feature, Souls. Literally, the 2 of them just fought it to the end, and they were the ones to take every single film role, depending on Soul or Wolfwalkers. Again, this is them in the highest year for animation for a variety of factors, so these 2 kind of came and took, and they cleaned up house. Dan, I know you're a big proponent of Wolfwalkers. Does this mean anything at all, the fact that Soul may have been your winner, but Wolfwalkers did so well? Do you think this is just kind of like people really love Wolfwalkers, but this is kind of Souls to lose?
Yeah, basically. I love, and I was finally glad to see like Malcolm and you guys got a chance to see Wolfwalker. So when I brought up Wolfwalkers way back in November,
oh yeah, way back.
What's Wolfwalker? Now you guys know what Wolfwalkers is. Hopefully everybody knows what Wolfwalkers is. But Soul is going to win 2 Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature and Score for Atticus Ross and the other guy, and Trent Reznor. So yeah, Soul.
Yeah.
Soul. But it's glad to see that the justification that all the people that are out there that do love Wolfwalker, this is a little bit justification showing, hey, it's not just some chopped liver, just hand-drawn animated movie. It's a beautiful. And I went back and watched all the Cartoon Saloon movies. They're just beautiful movies in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I think this will more than anything else let people go out and check out Wolfwalkers. Don't do drugs. What do you think about the fact that the Soul and Wolfwalkers are the 2 to clean up?
Look, I haven't watched Wolfwalkers because I don't have Apple TV, and yesterday I discovered my sister pays for it, and she hasn't shared the password. Well, we live together. I share my Disney Plus password and the Netflix password, so it has to be reciprocal, right? You agree with that?
There you go.
I agree.
So I'm waiting for that password to get sent to watch it before the Oscars.
Yeah.
But
like,
I think so. It's gonna win.
It's kind of at this point, it's kind of like there's been no competition. BAFTA didn't go a curveball or anything. Even for Annie's, indie feature went to Wolfwalkers, but feature went to Soul. Malcolm, what do you think? I know you're a big lover of the Annies and animation. Do you see anything different?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if Soul loses, I'm going to be surprised. But I mean, I also haven't seen Wolfwalkers yet. I've still got to get around to that. But I don't have Apple TV either, so and I just don't really want to sign up for it because otherwise I'll forget to stop the free trial when and I don't really have the money to pay for another streaming service at the moment. But that being said, if Wolfwalkers beat Sobbers, they were in both different categories at the Annies. Like one was in indie, one was in feature, so it could still go either way. To be fair.
Yeah, no, I think the possibility is there. It's just a very small sliver of possibility at this point. But like again, Wolfwalkers is number 2. There's no sense of arguing that. Anyway, that is the Annie Awards. We're going to go through those, and we're going to move right along to let's go with the sound category first. In what was a shocking turn of events for the Sound Editors Golden Reel Awards, they kind of they nominate sound editing, if you will, back before the 2 categories were back when they were split. But for the motion picture sound editors, the Golden Reel Awards went to as follows. They went to Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature Animation, Soul. Ta-da! Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature Documentary, The Reason I Jump. I don't know what that one was. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Foreign Language Feature, The 800. Okay. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature _ Tenant, getting some love. Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature Musical, Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of the Fire Saga. That's a fun one.
The song sounded good in that, so if that's what that was for, the song sounded good.
Yeah, and I think that was a recognition of, hey, you're a great musical. And one of the few musicals that came out this year, I think, since a lot of them got pushed back.
Oh, In the Heights. Oh, God.
Yeah, In the Heights is coming up. And here we go. This was these next two were kind of shocking because Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature Dialogue ADR, Trial of the Chicago 7, and Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing Feature Effects Foley, Greyhound was your winner. Now, this is sound editing, of course, and it's not. And there, I guess the sound editing, I'm so curious at how, if that's more mixing or if that is more editing when it comes to the sound of metal, because that won the BAFTA for sound. So I'm curious. We'll go the opposite direction now. Malcolm, well, actually, before I do that, I want to go into the Cinema Audio Society Awards because sound at this point is kind of mushed together for the Oscars. And these award mixing. And for your mixing category for the Cinema Audio Society Awards, you have motion picture live action, Sound of Metal, motion picture animated, Soul, and then, of course, motion picture documentary, the Bee Gees, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, which that was not nominated for an Oscar. So I find this an interesting thing of if the sound mixers went with Sound of Metal and the sound editors go for Greyhound, right now, do we think that there is a chance this is kind of a big toss-up when it comes to sound? What do you think, Malcolm?
Well, I mean, this is the first time they've done it as one category in the Oscars, so I think there could be a legitimate chance we could end up with one of those rare ties that often occurred because of the split. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, when it comes to sound categories, I really don't know much. I always get confused about what comes into mixing, what's editing, to be honest, but that's just me.
Well, no, I think that's a good thing to think about because I know we had a tie in sound. I believe it was with the year of Skyfall and one other film.
Zero Dark 30.
Oh, okay.
Zero Dark. Yeah, that one.
No,
yeah.
I heard
you. Do you understand? Yeah. Sorry.
So, Abe, you're fine. Abe, what do you think then about this? What is the possibility now that we've combined it? What's gonna what the heck's gonna happen?
I don't want to think about an Oscar voter. Who you will vote? The movie that has one nomination or the movie that it's nominated for Best Picture? I think it's gonna be Sound of Metal. I find it hard that anything can, especially what's nominated, that can upset them. I will lean towards Sound of Metal. And if I think about Oscar voters, that's what old people will do. I know if my grandma saw the nomination, she will say, well, that has been nominated a couple of times. Let's go with that one.
Oh, I see that one. Let's give it a nice check mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is your grandma an Oscar voter, Abe?
I don't know. She passed away a couple of weeks.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't mind.
Okay. I'm glad. Thank you.
It's gonna be.
But okay, no. Just to look back again, Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal are your Oscar nominees for this category. Dan, do you see anything else taking Sound of Metal, or should we be worried that it didn't win the Sound Editing Award for the Guild?
I don't think it should be. You should be worried about. I think Sound of Metal is going to take this award. But just going off on Greyhound, the water, the way the water was splashing up in the ships, and the sound of the ocean. So that's probably the reason why it got that Foley, because that was pretty good mixing, if you ask me. It sounded like they were actually out at sea during World War II, and some of the ships and the bombs and the things like that. That was pretty damn good mixing, if you ask me. So I can understand how Greyhound did win that, because it made it sound more realistic. But obviously, it was tons and tons of green screen in that, and they may not even been in a body of water.
Maybe not.
So that tells you how good that movie sounded. But yeah, I mean, if Sound of Metal loses the award that has sound in the title
That's
of it,
true.
that would be a travesty. And I think a lot of people's predictions would be starting to go down the tubes at that point.
Oh, no, it's going to be chaos that night if the Sound of Metal does not win the sound category, because literally it's best sound and what other use of sound, because it's still one of the best. Although I really like Greyhound a lot as a movie. It's really, I guess, engaging. It's really fun. But Greyhound, what was it?
Sorry, can I go in a tangent?
Oh boy.
Okay, why not?
The sound, literally the Sound of Metal. I hate when water hits metal. I have this pet peeve of hearing
water.
Metal. Yeah, I hate that. Like whenever you have something metal, and I don't know, you have water hitting it. I don't know, like a ceiling, something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
I would not have thought of water hitting metal. But I guess that's the water from Greyhound splashing over to the metal of the sound.
Exactly.
Metal.
I hate that sounds. I know. I just never said that to anybody. And I
Thank you for sharing.
Continue with my tangent is finished.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But as I was saying, thank you, Abe. The Sound of Metal. I think if there's a spoiler, I think it's going to be Greyhound, because that is that's more sound in the sense of like. But I think it uses sound. It's the only nomination. Like, remember when Quiet Place was nominated in? Was it sound editing or sound mixing? I think it was.
But it was great.
I believe it was editing.
Yeah,
I think it was. It was editing. You're correct. Like that was the only nomination the film got, and obviously, as much as people wanted it to win, it wasn't going to win. And I think that's the case with the Greyhound. Like people were like, "Oh, hey, this is great, great sound." But Sound of Metal, I still think to be the one to win, because the casual Oscar voter. You're right. You're right, Abe. You're people like your grandma, who's apparently an Oscar voter now. She wins. She's like, oh, the Sound of Metal. Let's go with this one. Or let's look at some people who may not be as knowledgeable, some producers or some craftsmen who are like, oh, the Sound of Metal. I remember this, and I think this should get it, because if it doesn't win anything else, I think sound is the safest bet for it, personally.
But what if you're a dog lover? I mean, what if there's a lot of dog lovers out there? Oh, Greyhound. Oh, I'm going to vote for that.
That's a fair argument. That's a fair argument. I can see that happening. Dude, but like Greyhounds aren't that pretty. Like, you don't think Greyhound, it's a pretty dog. Like maybe if it was, I don't know, a Labrador or something like that, you would say, oh, that's a good one.
They should have had a Labrador in the movie Greyhound following around. Falling around as Tom Hanks.
Be a dog on the ship, right?
I mean, if you're a fan of legals, like the Trials of Chicago 7 sounds good.
Let's put that one right there. Let's just put news of the world. News. Oh, I love watching the news. We'll put that right there.
We have a lot of trials on TV right now. Let's put
trial of the Chicago. I mean, Soul. They're like, I have a soul. Let's put that down there. Oh, the Mank. I can't come up with anything for Mank. There is absolutely no reason people would put Mank unless you've seen it.
Unless you like old 40s movies.
There you go, Mank.
The sound of them.
Mankiewicz. I remember him. Great writer. No, probably not the one you're thinking about, and director. But anyway, all right. So that is the sound categories, and now we're going to move along to. I'm actually going to quickly check on to see if we know of a winner when it comes to. I'm going to keep looking at that in a second. When it comes to the cinematography forum.
Can I rank these for you right now? Can I do my ranking? Or do you
not yet. We will do that in a second. So go ahead. What we're going to be doing is that on Twitter, after we do the editing for the editing category, we're going to go to the cinematography category. And with that, on Twitter, Will Maverty, one of a certified critics, started to say, if you could rank the past winners for this decade and include Nomadland, who we believe to be the front runner, how would you rank it? So we're going to play a little game like that before we wrap it up today. But before that, I want to get into the Ace Eddies, because I think this, I said before, the Ace Eddies will be the kind of the one to tell us what may be the case for this year, because we have a race in this category, guys. We actually have a race to the finish. So your winner for where'd it go? Your winner for best animated edited feature film dramatic was not Sound of Metal, which was also nominated. Was not Nomadland, Minari, or Mank. It was Trial of the Chicago 7 to win the Ace Eddies. Abe, tell us a little about what is Trial of the Chicago 7 won over Sound of Metal, which won the BAFTA. Is this a race?
I guess so. Well, I don't guess so. I'm totally sure, because I don't see a front runner here. This is one that I would not be surprised that a lot of people get wrong. You can think, well, all of them are Best Picture nominated. Wouldn't be, all of them are well edited. You would think that the best, the most likely Best Picture Nomadland will win, but the Trial of the Chicago 7, like people are saying, it may be number 2, number 3, that can still get an upset. Like if that wins, it's gonna, and it's actually a really good edited movie. Like gotta give it props for that, even though it's not that amazing. Whatever. What should win there? The Father. I just want to say that should win most of the Oscars. The editing in that film is really good, and if you're gonna give it something, you will give it production design. Anthony Hopkins or that. Oh, it has a ton of good stuff, but like I do think it's a race here. Like I think the balance is balance.
Are leveling out?
Yeah, it's leveling out.
The scales are leveled, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the scale. Yeah, that thing.
Well, Dan, are the scales leveled?
I'll be honest. I actually agree with Abe. And if you've been watching Gone with the Wind previous episodes, you know that I've been actually saying how Trial of Chicago 7 has some amazing editing, because you got to remember, it's going back from the judge, it's going back to the lawyer's table, it's going back to Yahya Abdul-Mateen, it's going back to the other guys on the other table, and it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is a lot of editing, and it's seamless. I mean, absolutely seamless. That editing from table to table to table to table and back, and you don't even notice it because the movie's so good that you're watching it. But I mean, everybody seems to be like jumping on board of Sound of Metal because it won the BAFTA. You can't always take the BAFTA seriously. Look, I mean, Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor, but is he going to really win Best Actor come the Academy Awards? Probably not. So don't always take the BAFTA seriously. I would say there's a legitimate shot that Trial of Chicago 7 has, but going off of what Abe said, The Father is amazing editing. I mean, seamless editing. I can't say enough. So easily the Father could win, Trial of the Chicago 7 could win, or Sound of Metal could win. I think it would be a 3-horse race, but because Father hadn't won anything previously, maybe people didn't. But it is amazing editing. But I think if you're checking your box come Oscar Sunday, you got to go with Sound of Metal as the safe bet here.
Okay, so do you agree that this, for when it comes to a safe bet, Sound of Metal is the one to pick, Malcolm, or do you think Trial of the Chicago 7 is now suddenly starting to gain more steam, and if not overtake Sound of Metal?
I mean, personally, I agree with Abe. The Father should be the one to win editing, because the editing is great. And that was nominated at Ace Eddie, so that could still come out of nowhere and take it away. So, but I can see a scenario in which any of the 5 will win this award. I'm probably going to lean on still say Promising Young Woman will probably win this because it's better edited. I prefer the editing in that over most of these.
See, well, this is an interesting thing. You look back, BAFTA winners for editor and the Ace Eddies for winners, they kind of are like 50-50 almost with the Oscars. So you can kind of go well with any of those. Ford v Ferrari won the BAFTA. It did not win. It did not win. I didn't win the Ace Eddies. That was a Parasite, I believe. It could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was Parasite. Bohemian Rhapsody won the that won. I know it won the Ace Eddies for some godforsaken reason, but it lost. No, I think it won the BAFTA. I can't remember exactly, but I think I don't think it won the BAFTA. And then Dunkirk won the Oscar, but Baby Driver won BAFTA. So it kind of goes back and forth, really. Dunkirk won Ace Eddies. So it kind of goes back and forth if you're seeing. There's no like particular one that usually will take it all to the very end. There's always some tension when it comes to editing most of the time. There's some nail biting, and it always seems to come down to what is the most edited. You look at all these past winners and you can see what is the most edited. And the most noticeable editing for all of these, I said Sound of Metal last one, but when it comes to an overall people at large, if Sound of Metal had won Ace Eddies, you'd know it was over and that it was going to take it. But now there's actual competition, Trial of the Chicago 7, and then this is the place to award Chicago 7 because I personally don't have it winning anywhere else at this time. So perhaps now this is where they're going to go. Yes.
Okay. Now everybody votes on everything at the Academy Awards, right? Not just each of the, so okay, let's say all the editors voted for Chicago 7, but the actors, the cinematographers, the directors, and everybody else voted for Sound of Metal. What's going to win? Sound of Metal more than likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the editors obviously love the editing and Trial of the Chicago 7 by that having won the Ace Eddies. But when you have all them other branches voting for something, they kind of want to give it to films that, a lot of times, Sound of Metal, that's already won something. We're going to give it something else. We love that film. And rumor has it, don't quote me on this, I'm just, from the tea leaves and the different little birds that I've been, Hollywood loves Sound of Metal. Take that for what it's worth.
No, I believe that because I feel like that got a lot more love than we anticipated getting in the first place. It literally got a screenplay nomination. I got a picture nomination. It got almost everything you could, but I think it was that or Florian Zeller were sick for director. I'm kind of just interested now to see what would be the case for the winner for best editing because there is no like singular there's no singular how do I say this? There's no singular stat you follow and like, that has to win that one. I just see it at the very end of the day and I'm like, okay, Trial of Chicago 7, it did not die a horrible death because it lost Ace Eddie. It won the Ace Eddie. It lost BAFTA, but it won the Ace Eddie. So it's not dead upon arrival. You gonna say something, Abe?
No, sorry.
Okay, I thought you were getting your mic to say something. But yeah, I just think at this point, would not be shocked if it was Trial of Chicago 7. But I would not be shocked if it was Sound of Metal. I think at this point, we have a race, ladies and gentlemen. So throw a dart and flip a coin because I'm excited to see what's going to be. But also, we have Best Edited Feature Film Comedy. Now, this is the bigger shocker for me personally because everyone said it was going to be Promising Young Woman. Your nominees were Borat Subsequent Movie Film, I Care a Lot, On the Rocks, Palm Springs, and Promising Young Woman. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, was Palm Springs, beating out Promising Young Woman. So I've not seen Palm Springs because I don't have Hulu. Are we shocked? Well, I know I'm shocked, and I'm more than certain you guys are also shocked as well that Palm Springs was do this. But has anyone seen Palm Springs on here? Yes. Again, what are your thoughts on Palm Springs and Malcolm? Okay, Dan and then Malcolm. Tell us your thoughts on this Palm Springs beating Promising Young Woman for Ace Eddie.
No, I love Palm Springs, but it's Groundhog Day, set in a wedding, and so Groundhog Day type stories. We know Edge of Tomorrow. We've seen this a few times. It has to have great editing, because you're cutting back to the same day over and over again, and then they're doing a little bit different things. So it has to have great editing. But I'm right there with you. I mean, everybody. I mean, I thought this would be Promising Young Woman. That seems to be the editing in the comedy. If you call, I don't know. I don't even know if I would call Promising Young Woman a comedy.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
pulled the
it's
Golden
a
Globes.
comedy.
It's a really, really dark comedy.
Yeah, it's a very dark comedy.
Yeah.
No, like I don't. It's gonna sound weird, but like if you take the definition of comedy, you know, like tragic plus time, whatever. Like you take it literally, it's a comedy. It's not like you don't have to laugh for it to be a comedy. Like if you take it literally, it's kind of weird, something like that.
I mean, if you look on Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure for Promising Young Woman it says dark comedy. So
Okay,
Yeah.
so I can see that, I guess.
Yeah,
More of a
but
genre than a comedy.
Promising Young Woman is just has a lot of editing in it, and it's kind of surprising that it didn't win. But Palm Springs has the most editing if you really look at the film.
Would you consider that to be the case, Malcolm? Does Palm Springs have the most editing in comparison to Promising Young Woman?
I mean, I don't pay attention. I don't do telematch to find out how much editing they've got.
Well, okay, not literally, but did you notice a big difference in comparison?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't. But like Palm Springs winning doesn't surprise me because like the way they did the whole Groundhog Day segment is great. It's still a crime that Palm Springs didn't get any love at the Oscars, but
So for you, Abe, have you not seen Palm Springs either, right?
No, and I pay for Hulu.
Oh, well, okay then. But like, tell us, like, does this hurt Promising Young Woman's chances in coming out as becoming a spoiler if they own editing? People can't get behind it for winning comedy.
No, because Palm Springs it's not nominated.
But
Like,
even if
you
that
have
won
to-
over it and it was
Yeah,
nominated,
yeah.
you still
And let
think
me
it's
tell you, and I don't know if this is conspiracy theory stuff or whatever.
oh
Not
dear.
for me, like people doing something stuff like that, overthinking. But sometimes it's not the same people voting. It's not. You have to go with whatever
Abe,
whatever
this is
has
a
happened.
podcast on overthinking.
Yeah, I know. Like we have to talk about something.
I know.
There's been another 92. Like, sure, can it lose? Probably. Like, I still will think Nomadland or Trial of Chicago 7 because one drama. I will flip a coin and see what wins. What I'm feeling that day, I put my final predictions in. But like, I was not expect. Well, I don't know if you guys were, but I was not expecting Promising Young Woman getting that Oscar nomination, and I don't. I probably will have it like a third. I probably will have been thinking Nomadland, Son of Metal, Promising Young Woman,
But
probably
be honest with
7.
me, is Nomadland like one of the best edited films of the year? I think
Look,
Promising Young Woman,
can I say something?
The
I-
Chicago 7 have great editing in them. But really,
I
Nomadland?
watched it.
I mean, I love
No.
Nomadland, but
What
I
were
don't
you
think
gonna say,
it's got great editing.
I watched it. I watched it in theaters on Friday,
Oh, nice.
Do you think the
Uh,
editing
uh,
is all that, Matt?
and it got better. It got better, and I don't think you have to edit a lot to be good editing.
Yeah,
It's gonna sound weird, like it just it's hard to find great editing and whatever. And I'm not an editor, but sometimes you know in a film, whenever the director makes a cut, and you just feel like I feel something like that when you watch Lawrence of Arabia and he's turning on the match and then he cuts to the. It's like, you motherfucker, like, and you tell in the best way possible. Like,
One of my favorites.
who thinks of doing that? They did that, and it's great editing, and you rarely get that, honestly. And as you say, well, I'm not saying Nomadland because it's the best editing film. I don't.
Well, what
I
happens
would think.
is they put a lot of times the number one contender of best picture or best actor.
Yeah.
They put it in a bunch of the below line cat just for the hell of it. So they threw Nomadland in there. Maybe that should have been Palm Springs.
Yeah, but like if you told me the best edited film that I've seen in Oscar whatever right now, it's The Father. Honestly, like it's a seamlessly one. It's the one that works. But if you see the Trial of the Chicago 7, you see a film like Argo, which has the real footage and and the movie itself,
Mhm.
and it works perfectly fine. You think, and that won Best Editing. I remember that winning. And
Yeah.
then it happened to win Best Picture. But
And I think that that's a great comparison. Trial of Chicago 7 is very similar to Argo in the way that it feels like it's been edited. But I think you made a great point. Editing is not always about the most editing or noticing an edit, but noticing how the edit makes you feel. How does that move the story along? How does it feel? Is it natural? Is it abrasive? Do you notice it? It's like, oh, what in the world? Like Bohemian Rhapsody, which we'll always talk about to this day, because why? I think both Sound of Metal and Trial of Chicago 7 succeed in different ways. Trial of Chicago 7 balances multiple storylines and balances multiple timelines or multiple times and set pieces. Sound of Metal helps progress with the subtlety of its editing. It's a subtlety that I think is very, very, very good. But it's not like you look at some of the past winners, especially if you go to look at look at these last winners you've had for editing. Ford v Ferrari, Bohemian Rhapsody, Dunkirk, Hacksaw Ridge, Mad Max Fury Road, Whiplash, Gravity, Argo, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and The Social Network. Most of these, not all of them, but most of these have a lot of editing. So that's why I'm more inclined to go with Trial of Chicago 7, because the subtlety is less there than Sound of Metal. But Sound of Metal could absolutely win as well. That's my logic.
And
can I just mention that I remember?
Yes, go ahead, Abe, and then Dan.
There's this edit in Nomadland which I found really great. Like, there's this scene where they're with the chickens and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then they cut to the Thanksgiving dinner, and there's the turkey just lying there in the floor. Like, they put a chicken on camera, and then they cut and put the turkey. Like, that's good editing. That's what makes me think, like, that made me laugh. I laugh alone in there were like other people, and I laugh alone because of that. Because I noticed it. It was pretty great, and it just those those little things that makes you that's good editing.
It's a little thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Never
Dan?
mind.
Good? Okay. But no,
Sorry.
what I was just going to add upon those lines is that, yeah, the editing is going to be interesting because while I think if the father wins, it'll come out of nowhere. No one will expect it, because even though some people might consider it be a really worthy win, it'll be out of nowhere. Nomadland, it'll show that there is power behind the Nomadland craze, and it's sweeping a lot of awards. Promising Young Woman, that'll be what I think would be the most surprising, since it didn't win Ace Eddie. And Sound of Metal, that'll be kind of as expected, but Trial of Chicago 7 will also be one. But at the end of the day, I think it's between Sound of Metal and Trial of Chicago 7 for editing. All right. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to find out right now if we actually, please tell me that someone actually now has a winner when it comes to, you're going to find out right here. I'm going to cut this out because I don't know if...
I mean, while you're doing that, I actually found out something about the format of this year's Oscars that's going to be different.
Yes, I saw that. First off, thank you, Malcolm. Everyone, shout out to Malcolm. He's put that in the chat, and I completely missed this. But apparently we have a show called Oscars After Dark. What? So, Malcolm, what did you read? What did you find?
Yeah, so basically the pre-show is where you're going to hear all the original songs, and they're not going to be performed during the ceremony this time around. It's going to be part of the pre-show. And this post-show sounds weird to me, because you're going to have all the usual interviews with the winners and whatnot, but it's also going to show the winners getting their trophies engraved, it's one of those ones which I don't think they've ever done a post show before. They're doing it, starting it for this one, some reason. But basically, it's just interviews with the winners and whatnot. But yeah.
See, I had heard about the actual. The people pre-recording in the pre-show about having the songs then, and as well as they're going to have Husavik performed in Husavik. for Eurovision. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're all going to be sort of recorded live. So the Husavik's going to be recorded in Iceland. So
I love it.
it makes you wonder if it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be actually Will Ferrell in that singing it, unless they've been trapped in Iceland this whole time.
They're like, we can't get you guys. I'm sorry. You're going to record it there. Well, yeah, but no. So what do you got? What do you guys think of this idea of Oscars After Dark? What a weird name. It sounds very. I've made a joke with me and my girlfriend. Have made a joke about like just add After Dark to anything, and it makes it sound really different and weird. What do we think about the name? But what do we? Okay, two things. What do we think about the name, and what do we think about the concept of an after show to see this transpire? It's a little extra Oscar goodness. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, leave it to Steven Soderbergh to put a dark take on some of this stuff. Oscars After Dark. They have the interview room usually at the Shrine Auditorium, wherever they not the Shrine Auditorium, but the Kodak Theater, and everybody gets in there. All the reporters are in there, and they get on stage and they interview the people. So obviously you can't do that now. So maybe this is a way to get this extra bonus kind of footage of the people talking about how they won the award and how much they appreciate winning, and maybe some little backstories on the role or something like that. Maybe, because you get some of these interviewers from other countries and different, wherever the heck they come from, they might ask some weird questions or whatever, and you might get some nice moments or something, some funny moments. Maybe they're allowed to drink or something, and it could make some entertainment or whatever. So that's kind of fun. I like the idea of doing the songs live in the pre-show, though. That's kind of cool. I think that's because I always thought the songs during the show are just. I wasn't a big fan of the songs during the show. I know some people are, but I'm not, because a lot of these songs just aren't songs that are relatable to just like the everyday average people. They fit in with the movie, but they're not like, oh, I'm going to go listen to this song 50,000 times. Sometimes, once the music from Once I did listen to quite a bit. I love that music, but that's.
So what do you think, Abe, about Oscars After Dark?
Sure. Like, I don't mind the experimenting they're doing this year because it's a weird year. But like, why do I want to watch? I don't know. I do like the songs at the beginning. I do think like, there's some performances that you say, oh, that was really good, because you like the movie and the song at all. But like, I don't. Like,
I think
that's
also
the best part of it.
I think moving that is an excellent idea, moving it to the beginning, because based solely upon the fact that that'll allow people want people to tune in, especially because there's no red carpet traditionally, allow people to tune in and want them to tune in beforehand because they have that airtime, might as well actually use it. And now that they're actually getting the airtime afterwards, instead of it going directly to like Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, I'm not sure exactly who it goes right afterwards to, having that Kimmel, thank you. That allows buffer time and allows us to kind of sit. I'm all for it. I absolutely adore that because that allows us to sit with the winners and maybe we can see some people and how they're reacting outside of after just winning it. Because I feel like that can be a special moment. It could completely bomb and look really, and it could be really bad. But I'm looking forward to trying something new. And I'm excited because this is going to be a really weird year in and of itself. So why not give it a try? As you said, Abe, this year, if it doesn't work out, oh well. But I appreciate the fact that they're trying something different. Malcolm, what
Look
about
at
you?
it being the best ceremony ever.
Yeah, I mean the question is, will this continue on after this, or they're just doing this because of the pandemic, because they can't do the red carpet and whatnot.
Exactly.
I think it all depends on if people enjoy it. If they get, if people are like, "Hey, this is a really good addition, please keep it." If people hear feedback that's positive, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to keep doing it until people get upset and like, "I hate this. What are we doing? Don't do it again." But this is a year I'm more excited about the Oscars than ever before, mainly because Steven Soderbergh is going to add such a difference of touch and comparison to some of the other people of the past and make it more of a cinematic experience. And this just kind of adds little bookends to what could be a really interesting night amidst a really crappy year. Breaking news. The American Society of Cinematographers just announced, and it is in fact Mank. I was waiting to end this discussion before I announced it. Mank is your winner for the Society of Cinematography. And beating Nomadland, which we presume to be the front runner. So immediate reactions, Abe. What are your immediate? Okay, what's up? Tell us what's going on here.
Oh,
I'm gonna get like 14 wins, like 14 correct. I don't know what's happening. Like it was supposed to be Nomadland. Everybody was sure it has been winning everything, and now Mank. Mank is, not because it's black and white, but it's pretty damn good. That black and white, like it's pretty damn good. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts in a week from now.
I mean, hey, don't forget. Remember, Cold War won the American Society of Cinematographers too. They love black and white. Like looking back on, remember like The Man with No Name. I can't remember exactly what Roger Deakins did. What's that Coen Brothers movie called? Like The Man with not The Man with No Name. Man Who Wasn't There.
Yeah,
or something like that along those lines. Black and white, and that won the American Society for Cinematography Award. They love their black and white, so I'm not too shocked, and I'm always now going to say yes, pick black and white. But Dan, what is your thoughts?
Wow, oh man, because I absolutely
think
that Nomadland is a gorgeous, gorgeous film. But if you look at Nomadland, it's kind of like they're filming the actual place around. The mountains and they're not really adding anything to. It's just kind of like a documentary style filmmaking in a lot of ways, even though it has a script and actors and stuff. Whereas Mank, it's not easy to do black and white these days, and it really had a aesthetic to it. It has a grain to it that makes it look gorgeous, and like you said, the black and white is. I mean, it seems like a thing that they love. Did the artist win best cinematography?
No, it did not. That was Tree of Life.
Hugo.
Tree of Life is a gorgeous looking.
Oh,
film.
sorry. For American Society, the cinematographer, American Society of Cinematographers went with Tree of Life, but you're right, Abe. The Oscars went for Hugo.
Hugo. So Hugo had beautiful cinematography, and you add the 3D to it. It had amazing. But yeah, I mean, like we said, cinematographers was just one branch of it, and obviously they're going to go with Mank. But doesn't mean the rest of the Academy doesn't go with Nomadland. Another category where Nomadland has probably got a very good shot at this because it's got the actors, the directors, everybody else that's going to vote, and they're going to want to give some awards. And I think one of the 4 or possible, it's either 3 or 4 awards for Nomadland is cinematography. I mean, if it just goes home with director and picture, I'd be surprised. I think it's going to be more than that.
Malcolm, what do you think about the shocking turn of events?
I'm just speechless. I mean, I didn't think the cinematography of Mank was that great, to be honest.
Oh, hot take.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is what it wins at the Oscars after this, but I don't. The question is it enough for them to hit the momentum or not? So.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that kind of shows the fact that with the guilds, maybe Nomadland is not as beloved as maybe we would think, and maybe it's a lot more top of the line. It's an upset. Regardless, it's an upset because Nomadland won the Bafta as well, which again I find it interesting. Sound of Metal won the film editing Bafta, but the guild went somewhere else. Same thing happened here. You had cinematography for the BAFTA. They go with Nomadland. The guild went with Mank, something else. So now the question arises, what's going to take it then? Because I think they're both very good. I think they're both excellent cinematography in very different ways. I'm looking. Give me a second. I'm currently now about to go do some statistics and try to go see which one lines up the most with the Oscars, because I'm not sure. You guys have any more thoughts about Mank taking in at the last minute in comparison to Nomadland?
it has a grain to it. That's the thing I like about Mank's cinematography, and I'm a big proponent
Does.
of like beautiful cinematography, but also like cinematography that has some grain to it. And Mank has some grain to it that really kind of adds to the grittiness. And if you look what Soderbergh was going for, he's trying to make it look like an older film, like the 40s and 50s film. And it sounded like a 40s, 50s film. It looked like a 40s, 50s film. It had a aesthetic like a 40s, 50s film. So I think that's where the achievement really is with the cinematography in Mank. But a lot of times people think, oh, it needs to have these beautiful vistas, this breathtaking visuals, but cinematography can be different. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, like beautiful mountains and rivers and streams and woods and stuff.
Look
So
at
Mhm.
that God. You were talking about like not being visual and stuff. Look at The Godfather. It's probably one of the best movies cinematography ever. I don't remember if it won. No,
Great.
well, it did not won cinematography, but like how that who's the cinema, the shadows and everything, like those
Yeah.
things matter to tell a story. And when
Mhm.
a director and a cinematographer are capable to do that, that also counts. Like it's not everything's not colors.
Nope.
Like there's black and
Sometimes
white too.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
colors, if you have beautiful, just gorgeous colors, that can work in the cinematography aspect. But sometimes it's just the grain in the camera angles and the shadows, like you said, Abe. Yeah, 100% correct.
Okay, so just as a quick follow up, I'm looking back at these past 10 years, and BAFTA for cinematography is the more reliable statistic most of the time for these past 10 years at least. The last time BAFTA did not follow along, it's 2011 with The Artist winning instead of Hugo. And then then Roger Deakins won a BAFTA for True Grit, but he ultimately lost to Wally Pfister for Inception. If you go look back at the American Society for Cinematographers, you just got to go back to 2018 where they gave it to Cold War over Roma. So they have their own mind, and I think this is just them being like, "Hey, we love that, but look at this." I think that might be what it is at the end of the day. People in their specific guild honoring someone they feel like deserves it. Not saying that the person's not deserving, but like spreading the love around guild wise. You agree, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely. And then think about it. Nobody saw Cold War getting into some of these awards come the
Heavens
Academy
no.
Awards, and it got in for cinematography, gets in for director. You know what I mean? It get it. So sometimes these little things like this can help these awards. Obviously, we know what's already in now, but normally these awards were before this stuff. So like, oh, this could help its chances in these various categories. In Cold War, I thought benefited that year from winning cinematography. People like, oh, we need to pay attention to Cold War, and it was a gorgeous movie. I mean, I saw it. I was like, what the heck? How amazing! Where was this movie? Where did this movie come from? Out of nowhere. And it was just, I was glad I had a chance to see it when I did. It was an amazing movie. In Roma, though, I mean, how could you go wrong with Roma? That was, I mean, just two black
Beautiful,
and white
gorgeous.
movies, but different. If you look at the grain and the aesthetic, Roma looks more realistic and like it was lived in, like you're living in it right now. And then Cold War, it looked like it was an older movie. It looked like that it had an older aesthetic to it, but
I
both
mean,
black and white movies.
yeah, and the big thing I noticed is that there's a more of a soft light when it comes to Roma, and the way everything seems softer. You look at the hard light, Cold War is a lot more stark, and there's just a lot more hard edges in comparison, and that's just the use of soft and hard lighting. But yeah, that was a shock. Did not expect that to be talking about that today. But finally, before we end this broadcast, we are going to give, as I said, Will Maverty, who's a certified critic with the Hollywood Press. Hollywood Critics Association, there we go, gave out a tweet saying, where would you rank Nomadland among the last 10 cinematography winners? Now, that said, Mank was the winner of this one. So play around. Where would you put Mank and where would you put Roma? I'm going to give you my list first. I put in our chat that we have the actual list of these ones. So we're going to go around kind of saying where we would and if we agree with those. But if it was going to be Nomadland, mine would be as follows. My favorite, 2049. Number 2, Roma. Number 3, Revenant. 4, Birdman. 5, La La Land. 6, 1917. 7, Nomadland. 8, Inception. 9, Gravity. 10, Life of Pi. And 11 is Hugo, mainly because I haven't seen Hugo in a long time and I need to rewatch it. But if this was Mank, it might actually go the same exact place where Nomadland is. Maybe down 1 and Inception goes up before it. But I'm not sure yet. Who wants to go first? I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Are you going to have 2049 in the top 5? That's what I'm curious about. Oh, is someone pointing at him? Abe, do you want to go? Do you want to go first?
Yes.
Please tell us, what is your list for the best winners?
I also have 2049. Is there any question that's probably one of the best cinematography?
So beautiful looking.
Well, shoot pictures like from the last 23 years. I haven't watched a lot. Like, honestly, like that film is breathtaking. Birdman, 1917, Roma, Life of Pi, La La Land, Gravity, The Revenant, Nomadland, Inception, and I also have Hugo at the end.
Yeah, have you seen Hugo recently?
I haven't. I think I haven't. I didn't watch it when it came out, so probably I think I watched it like 4 years ago when. I think it's the visual effects. Those things kind of, especially movies that are made for 3D. Like sometimes they look weird, especially on a 13-inch screen in a computer. Like
probably
you're not supposed to watch those films.
But that's also why I also put Gravity lower, because that is also very special effects heavy, and maybe that's why also Life of Pi is lower, just because it's a lot of visual effects. And there's always like 2049 found that balance between a lot of visual effects, but also using the aesthetic that we have to see. Plus, it's Roger Deakins, and you can't go wrong with Roger Deakins. Malcolm or Dan, who wants to go first or second? I guess
I can go. I will tell you, I do have Blade Runner 2049 as my number 1 as well.
Hey,
I have Hugo a little higher than you guys because obviously I got let me see here. I got the Revenant in there at number 2. I actually put like Inception in there at number 3. Hugo number 4.
Wow.
I would put Birdman down at the bottom. I just don't. I don't think the cinematography is all that great in Birdman. But I would, in my top 5, I definitely have 1917, another Roger Deakins film. La La Land would go after that. I would say 6 or 7 would be the winner of either Mank or Nomadland in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. What do we got here? Gravity probably after that, Life of Pi, and so on and so on. So.
Well, I asked the question, Dan. Tell us, why do you have Hugo so high? What again? We both haven't seen it in a little bit, but tell us, why do you have it so high? Because that's the big discrepancy we usually have between ours.
Well, I think the 3D in Hugo really benefits it, but if you really look close to it, it has a great aesthetic, a great grain, and all that production value and the 3D, all those little things that are added into that film really make the cinematography jump out. And it has that old feeling. It even has snow. There's like they're walking on snow streets with snow coming down, and the snow's coming in your face in the 3D. And the train, there's a dream sequence with the train. So the 3D really adds to the cinematography, and that to me, and when you're dealing with all the people walking and the interweavings of the train station and the clocks and all that stuff, that's some gorgeous, amazing cinematography to me. And I'm not a big 3D guy. I'm not all this 3D, but one of the best 3D films I've seen in a long, long, long time is Hugo. Scorsese isn't messing around with something he's never done before unless he does it right. and he did it right for Hugo, in my opinion, and that's what makes it one of the best of this particular list. I'd say it's one of the best cinematography. That's just my opinion. And I
Well,
did
I
see
mean,
it. I see it quite a bit because I rewatch all Scorsese's filmography at least once a year.
oh wow, then I definitely will need to give it a second shot because I haven't seen it since it was in theaters, and I just as a movie that I has not stuck with me as much. But maybe I need to see it again because I'm a big fan of the book. I read that growing up, so I'm gonna give that one another shot. We lost Malcolm. I don't know what happened to him. We can't find him right now. He is.
He was so upset that Dan had Birdman so low. He loves that movie.
Yes, he's so offended.
No,
I'm
just
sorry,
kidding. I
Malcolm.
don't know.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding too, because I know he would have been like, all right, I gotta go. I can't take this anymore. It's too much. The blasphemy you guys have given. The blasphemy. Yeah, no, this is I love how we all have 2049 as our favorite cinematography of this year. And I think that just kind of goes to show how good Roger Deakins was at he is still good at what he does, but with that movie I think that was a great marriage of what he usually does. It's wonderful use of lighting, an amazing use of camera work. It's not too flashy, but it's subtle enough. It's just a great beautiful film.
And the thing is, what I love is like we're in LA, we're in Las Vegas, we're in San Diego, we're in all these different places, and each place looks completely different, yet is gorgeous in and of itself. Wherever we go with the characters in the movie, every place looks just like wow, and they don't look like the same place. And that's kind of one of the best parts about the film. Like Las Vegas is this deserty, sandy, ready place, and like one place is like a rainy, damp place, and and it's like, wow, how does he create all these different looks for all these different places and make it look so real? I mean, if you go look back at the cinematographer for Blade Runner and then you look at the cinematography for Blade Runner 2049, it's like night and day difference.
Yeah, but it's the best way possible. It's night or day difference.
Yeah.
Oh no, I just found this interesting that out of the 11 we have mentioned, I'm pretty sure only 3 were shot on film. I will have to check, which is Roma, Inception because it's Christopher Nolan, and La La Land. Like they're moving on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, whoa, I've been checking. Blade Runner was digital, Perma was digital, 1917 was digital. Well, yeah.
What were the other nominees the year Birdman won? Look that up for me, man.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
See, that's
that was really good.
Photography, but Birdman.
I think I do like the cinematography of the Grand Budapest Hotel more than I do Birdman, but I also absolutely love Birdman cinematography, not only just because it is one take, but because the way that it follows the actors. It's not the same way as 1917 is just one take, but it follows the actors and kind of treats it like a play. It's kind of a meta way that they convey the actual movie.
May I go? It was the Grand Budapest Hotel, Ida, Mr. Turner, and Unbroken. So,
see, right there, Ida is better cinematography than Birdman. I mean, have you guys seen Ida?
Wow. I have not seen Ida.
That's great cinematography. And the other thing is too, maybe I'm disgruntled because I love Boyhood. I love Boyhood, and I think Richard Linklater got robbed.
I think, okay, this is my quick thoughts on Boyhood. I think it is a really cool thing to have done. I can't stand the main character. I could not stand him. And I guess that was me being over here like, kid, what are you doing over here? Me being an old disgruntled man at my age of 25 years old. Like, what are you doing over here, kid? This is terrible choices you're making. What is all this? I guess that was me though. And that was the expectations I had going into it because people were like, oh, it's the best thing ever. And I give you props, Richard Linklater. That is a feat. And I commend you, sir. But that was my thoughts of Boyhood.
Isn't he doing something similar right now?
Yes,
is he?
But he's not doing it for 12 years. He's doing it for 6.
Oh, yeah.
What is he doing?
Something similar right now. He's in the middle of doing something similar to that. but he's only doing it for 6 years from what I heard. And if you think about when Boyhood came out and he was supposed to be starting the 6-year thing very soon right afterwards, we might be getting to the end of that 6-year deal. And has it been 9 years since Before Midnight? Has it? Are we getting close to 9 years yet?
Just
7, right? Is it 7?
So we're going to be,
I don't remember when.
there's a potential we could get another Before film as well. Not saying we will, but I mean, there's a potential for it.
just as a heads up, the song Merrily We Roll Along is an upcoming coming-of-age musical comedy film written and directed by Richard Linklater, based on Stephen Sondheim's and George First's 1981 musical of the same name, Merrily We Roll Along. So apparently, production of the film was announced to commence every couple of years to reflect the character's age over 20 years. So this is not going to be 12 years, but I think he's going a full 20 years shooting this.
No.
That's what it looks like right now. Holy cow, sir. What are you doing?
It's just, he's trying to do something different that other people don't do. I'll tell you what, if you go look at Richard Linklater's filmography, the guy has done so many different things.
Yes, those are our lists. So before we wrap up, where can the people find you, Dan? Sorry, Malcolm, I know you're not here.
I don't know what happened to Malcolm. Yeah. You can always find me at Dan Skip Allen on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Also, I am a film critic in the Orlando, Florida area. I'm going through a bit of writing block right now. My mind's not really into writing right now, but I'll be writing real quick because I have some screeners I need to write reviews for. So at disappointmentmedia.com, don't at me. I did not come up with the name of it. I just write for them. Also, my personal blog, From the Fourth Row, at wordpress.com. Also, I do a couple of YouTube shows called The Top 5 Weekly, where myself and a guest discuss a topic based on whatever movies are out in theaters. Right now, because of the Academy Awards changing their dates and so far, I'm doing a 4-part series. Manning has been involved in that. My other buddy, Jeremy. So I got one more episode left just before the Academy Awards next Saturday. We're going to do Best Picture. So, and my other summer series that I do called Bleacher Features, where myself and a guest discuss a sports film. We break it down from beginning to end. So that's all the places you can find me. And those are YouTube shows.
And where can they find you, Don't Do Drugs?
You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamLove25. Raving about Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, and Shrek 2, as always. And that's it. And don't do drugs. It's not good for you. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not good for you. Only when doctor prescribes it.
Make sure they're a legit doctor. And you can find me on Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MAN. What is it? What was it, Abe?
I'll tell you the story afterwards. It's
oh,
not
Lord. Okay. You'll never know, people. This is going to be behind the scenes. But you can follow me at Twitter at Cine_man. That's CINE_MANN, as well as here hosting Gone with the Wind for about 4 more episodes before our hiatus. And of course, you can find me on our YouTube channel, Manning Franks, as well as here and various places on Take 3. So thank you all for listening and watching. Listening, you're not watching. You know what I mean. Thanks you guys for being here on Gone with the Wind. And we'll see you at the Oscar nominations. Wow. I'm going to cut this all out. Thank you. We'll be at this Oscar. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all this Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern for the Oscar predictions. Thank you. Good night and good luck.